Man, I was only going to share what I had just discovered. Chrissy Lampkin performed Jim foul, not just any foul. I'm referring to a betrayal of the highest magnitude. $7 million that was taken from him and never lost or misplaced. World. By the lady he was going to name his wife. And the worst part is that Jim only recently put everything together. And now he's crazy. And she took it all, pacing like a tempest about to burst out, flipping chairs, slamming walls, and Chrissy, this. Isn't a reality TV drama, man. She left behind a single dry-ass text with no tears or explanation. The most outrageous aspect is that she didn't do this by herself. Someone from Jim's inner yes when money is involved, blood isn't thicker than paper. Circle assisted her in planning. It no cap, forget cheating. You're going to throw your phone across the room, wondering where that money went. Imagine waking up and understanding that your entire existence was a trap and that this rabbit hole is deeper than you may imagine. Imagine Jim's pace, his apartment at 2 a.m, red-eyed, sweating, gripping my hands, and the TV sarcastically plays old love and hip-hop episodes like some sick joke, and the only light in the room is unclenching. When Chrissy disappears without a word, sign, or farewell, Jim walks to the safe, and this is when things start to shift. I'm talking about every contract gone, USB drives gone, his cash gone, and everything is empty when he opens it. The only item in the wiped-out hoard is a single gold bracelet that Chrissy left in the center. Similar a stamp akin to her signature, as though she were confirming, "Yeah, I did it." Jim falls to his. He calls her directly to voicemail and texts her, and she is breathing heavily, like the kind of breath you take just before you lose it. You want to know what was on those missing USBs that were supplied but never opened? His tour rewards a full cryptocurrency wallet, and the only surviving copy of a $2 agreement he was negotiating to start a TV program under his name. Who got access to the $5 million digital punch to the gut? You already know, but wait, it gets worse. 2 hours go by. Jim checks his inbox and sees a note that reads, "Check your email, don't call me." You see Chrissy all of a sudden, shaky video that appears to be from a hotel hallway security camera. The timestamp is 3 days ago. You'll be shocked to see someone wearing a black hoodie sneaking inside a Miami hotel suite while someone else pauses and zooms in. Zeke, Jim's day one dipset brother, one of his realists, initially makes Jim believe his eyes are deceiving him, but it's not Zeke. 4 hours later, he is seen leaving from another camera viewpoint, clutching a heavy folder Zeke, a packed backpack, and as Chrissy laughs, Jim's phone falls out of his grasp and hits the ground, shattering their trust. Similar to glass. This isn't just about money anymore. It's about treachery, family, and the lady he trusted picking a bag over the boss and the man who gave her everything. And it just gets worse from here. A screenshot of a court document. The identities are as obvious as day Jim Jones, but the confidential seal is still somewhat veiled. Lampkin, Chrissy, and a third name that nobody anticipated, social media investigators didn't wait. They went all out to find out who TF is, Angela Reyes. According to CSI, Angela was Chrissy's ride or die in 2012 before going missing with no drama, no goodbye posts, and no fallout. Removed from Chrissy's life as if she hadn't existed at all. But rumors circulated that Jim had over the line, but because of Tweet 4, which is the bomb that opened the internet, no one has the complete truth up to this point. Chrissy's voice bursts out in tears as the letter becomes distorted yet genuine. And he believes I'm cruel, but he didn't remember what he did to me to Angela. I didn't forget. I simply waiting for me, and then it dawned on me that this was gradual retaliation, not about the millions. Moreover, chilly Chrissy struck where it would bleed his soul to make him feel better, rather than stealing to harm his wallets. While fans are still digesting the Angela's death, another explosion occurs, leaving them helpless as before. Backstory. Another clip was leaked, this time from a screen capture of the studio's surveillance footage that was taken only a week prior to Jim's widely shared Instagram Live. Chrissy is seen entering alone and exiting with a laptop, and not just any laptop. Jim's contract folders, unreleased tunes, and everything else were gone from his main vault. Here's the studio log reveals that the door was unlocked using a key card registered to the person who was granted jaw-dropper access. Once more, Freaky Zyke has the internet going crazy. Dr. Team versus Chrissy Gym is now formally comment sections during wars become battlefields. You guys are upset that she finally defended herself. She planned this for Snake Energy for years. She just flipped the game, and Jim broke her first. That's Dipset treason, boss. I thought that was the culmination. But then Jim's mother, Mama Jones, appears on Instagram Live, her hair covered in a robe, with her Bible open, the table, and gives the decade's most important sermon. Years ago, I told my child not to allow a woman handle his bread, but he was love produces idiots. She looks broke, humiliated, and the one as her voice breaks as she looks into the camera. Who carried it out? Sat in my house, grinned, and said, a shameless lie before pointing directly at the TV without blinking. Chrissy, God doesn't play with stolen blessings, therefore you're watching. Bring back things that don't belong to you. Suddenly, the media has gone crazy, and the feeds are overrun with gossip blogs. TMZ publishes a false headline, and an insider says the FBI might take action. If they find evidence that she burned comment sections using nonprofit cash, it's federal time. To a prison foundation, forget reality TV. This just became a crime. Doc? And right when you don't think it could get much worse? Boom tweet from a confirmed music industry ghostwriter who has a reputation for leaking. You're not prepared for where Chrissy actually wired that 7 hours. The receipts state. It's not who you think and when. When it drops, things will get really ugly. No name, no evidence, just unadulterated tension and then silence on the radio. Chrissy deletes all accounts and leaves the gym social media completely silent for 3 days in a row. Not a breath, not a post. Everyone knows this isn't true, yet the silence is louder than the drama lovers who are glued to their refreshing feeds waiting. After a brief lull in the excitement, Chrissy reappears with a single post, no apology, no message, just fire, it's an image. She is holding a pen in her red-nailed hand while holding a stack of bank statements in full view. Don't you should blame the wolf for teaching the snakes how to hiss boom, but in just 1 hour, another grenade dropped 1 million likes. Names, no rejection, only a warning. And then the big surprise, a cryptic Twitter thread, came. No followers for an anonymous user. Just one article after another, like a text-based Netflix documentary, tweeting to all of you. I believe Chrissy recently took this picture, which has been accumulating since 2012. 2 tweets, a blurry picture of a courtroom, and 3 names Jim Jones is visible. People begin to wonder, who the hell are Chrissy Lampkin and Angela Reyes? Is that Angela? Then it dawns on old school fans that Angela is remembered, was Chrissy's best friend before she disappeared without posting anything or saying goodbye. Now gone. The voice of Chrissy, purportedly from a voicemail that was hacked, goes viral. I didn't steal the money to harm him. Did it because he didn't apologize for what he had done to her? So now it's more than just thievery, retaliation. It was about shattering Jim where it stung the most. His pride, his authority, his image, and not about the millions. When the poisonous security film leaked, Chrissy was seen entering Jim's private studio, leaves 40 minutes later, holding his laptop, the same one that has unpublished music contracts, in her hand. Cryptocurrency, using a key card that belonged to Freaky Zeke, yes, Jim's own Dip It brother, the wallet's door was opened. At this point, it's choose a squad in an open battle in the streets. Cancel Chrissy trends. Chrissy is trending more, and then Mama Jones went live, glam-free and angry. She ate at my table, grinned in my face, and told my kid lies if she made herself an enemy by touching that foundation money and blood, and she ends the live with a terrifying line, Chrissy, may God deal with you because I'm done being nice. Everyone is trembling. Then a blogger releases this teaser, and I know who Chrissy paid off and where the money went, and it will ruin someone. The timeline stops, fans cease breathing, and Chrissy's account vanishes without any further updates. Jim is quiet, but that quiet is screaming, and the internet didn't simply react. It went viral minutes after Chrissy was tricked after disappearing from social media, and hashtags began to fly like shrapnel. Jim Jones Dipset drama, Jim free to spread Chrissy's name online. She used 2 Twitter accounts that were crowded and clubhouse rooms that had been reopened. Mud when a viral tweet claimed that everything was Chrissy. People stopped debating and instead took sides, as if it were a battle. We all believed in love, So we published her proposal like clowns. But she stole from Jim. After dumping heat, the female Frank Ocean vanished in another instance, but in this one, the heat was a theft. And then came, years ago, Remy Ma liked a post that said, "This is," and the famous shade Camilla posted a popcorn emoji. Why don't you list your lady on the documents? Moreover, Fat Joe shared a mysterious, "You guys keep setting relationship goals for these people," the video says. "I'm trying to tell you that love isn't built in Hollywood. Built in Hollywood." Last but not least, even Cardi B jumped in writing money and doing crazy things. But everything is different when it's your own man. The blogs went into overdrive, with Gossip of the City and Shade Room Hollywood Unlocked both releasing exclusive insider information, claims for tips for months. Chrissy had been organizing the vacation, believing that the purchases made in Dubai were a part of a financial escape scheme, that she had no intention of marrying Jim, but to take advantage of him and disappear, followed by the phony audio leak. "I don't owe the world anything. I did what I had." A voice message purportedly from Chrissy to her cousin appeared. "Let them chat. You had to steal 7 mailers to do a fan flip, and this woman just redefined power by moving like a ghost." Betrayal. But Jim's silence just served to stoke the flames whenever he shared a Drake song or a black screen. Jim's villain. Ark had fans going crazy, and now he's going to release a disc album called Stolen Hearts and Wire Transfers. Spotify jumped in and added Ballin' to their playlist, Betrayed Vibes. Talkers created acting skits. Out Chrissy placed phony wedding invitations with canceled stamps on them after breaking into the studio's Instagram profiles. Chrissy's face, and now for the most outrageous part, a transformation. The org petition began, obtaining a Steam title, forced Chrissy to reimburse. Not because they were hoping for justice, but thousands of admirers signed it, because the public was heartbroken and felt defrauded as well. This wasn't just Jim Zell Chrissy's silence for a minute. As the dust seemed to settle and fans began to gather, the legend of her betrayal continued to grow, believed they had witnessed the worst. Late at night, a last surprise came like a ton of bricks. An anonymous Dropbox link appeared, around Reddit, Discord, and Twitter into a folder named Proof She Was Not Alone, and the contents of money transactions, screenshots of voice recordings. But the actual bomb was an NDA signed by Chrissy Lampkin and Cameron, yes, Mr. Killer Ham Dips, who no one anticipated. The contract now reveals that its own general, the one who constructed with Jim, performed with him, and bled Harlem with him, got $450,000 via wire transfer from a covert LLC connected to Chrissy's offshore account. The internet goes crazy, but wait, Cameron was aware of it. This entire incident was the result of an inside job. People began to draw the links, and the cam stopped showing up with Jim months ago. There were no shoutouts, shows, or collaborations, and suddenly everything makes sense. In addition to shattering Jim's heart, Chrissy also turned on the one man Jim never expected. However, this is where things go downhill. Chrissy is heard speaking to someone on one of the voice notes that were leaked. "I took it because, speaker, he would never pay me what may I deserved, and Cam offered to keep Jim busy while I waited." What diverted attention from what exactly? Then, the final and largest drop appeared, revealing a low-resolution picture, clearly snapped at a rooftop bar in Dubai without their noticing Chrissy Cameron and a third figure. Yes, Angela Reyes is alive and content, smiling and sitting next to Chrissy as if they were catching up cocktails, and the fans simply flatlined. No, don't tell me that they were all in on it the entire time. Repayment Jim was merely the piece being moved across the board in this long-term scam tactic. But at the exact moment when the internet explodes, finally, Jim responds with a single image from an Instagram story that contains no words or emoticons. In the studio, bloodshot eyes with the missing laptop zoom in on a yellow sticky note in the table's corner. Written in bright red ink, 4 words. "You overlooked one file." The screen goes blank, with no sound, no caption, and no follow-up. Simply, the internet is ablaze right now, and the fans have their eyes fixed on the screen since silence isn't always empty. This story is far from over. You witnessed the betrayal, heard the disclosures, and witnessed the $7 million internet disaster. Things simply disappeared as if it had never happened, leaving Jim's circle in shambles, his trust non-existent, and his heart in shreds. And Chrissy? She left the game with backup. Cameron Angela, a squad of quiet, and she didn't leave alone. Shadows. Thus, we must now inquire as to whether this was always included in the plan, or if Chrissy outwitted the entire team from the begin. Or did she simply pick up the pieces that Jim left broken 10 years ago? Let's face it, some of you have already, in putting justifications like, well, Jim had his dirt too. However, the actual query is, who's the villain here? Please let me know in the comments if you believe this chapter was crazy without any sugarcoating. Or filters. Simply wait till the file is revealed. Chrissy neglected to remove the Jim one, taunted due to rumors that it doesn't simply burn in Chrissy. It reverses the complete script, so feel free to hit that like if your mouth drops to the ground at least once. Because of this saga, smash that subscribe. It's only getting warmed up, and remember, the bell is the upcoming episode they don't want you to see them. See you when the truth comes out in part 2. Don't merely irritate the scars.